Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, friend of the show, recurring guest. We've had him on now a couple of times. So for those who have heard his voice on Unwritten before, this is a familiar voice and now face for all you guys. But yeah, reoccurring guest. He's gone big time on us a little bit though, but he's come back. It's PFF's Max Chadwick, who now has the official college football show of PFF Preferred Walk On. Max, welcome back. Thank you for coming back on. Third time, I think now, recurring guest.
Yeah, third time, dude. I think we've done the same Mount Rushmore all 3 times, but this time is like actually a draft, which I'm so excited about. Literally while we were preparing for this, I just made like a top 15 big board right now for this. But yeah, man, I'm pumped to talk to you guys. And no, not at all big time at all. It's still I'm still really excited to talk to you guys because you guys are the absolute best. So I'm excited for this.
Well, you have had on some big time guests. So before, we're gonna have you talk again about Mizzou stuff. We've had you on to talk about Mizzou before. But before that, I do want to ask, because when we last had you on, I think Preferred Walk On was just getting kind of started. You had that Caleb Williams interview. And obviously now it's PFF's college football show. You've done a ton of stuff since then. So how's that been going for you? And then what are the plans for it? I know you've been doing all these interviews with players, but plans for it as the season gets underway and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. We got a ton of interviews that we've got posting right now. Caleb was fantastic. We have like Jordan Travis, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Braylon Allen. We have some offensive linemen like Olu Fashanu and Joe Alt, who might be top 10 picks. My favorite interview so far has been Donovan Edwards, the Michigan running back. That guy, he was the best. He was like that. He, as good of a player as he is on the field, and he's a top 5 to 10 running back in the country, I think. He was even better on the mic, man. I mean, he was fantastic. He said, I asked him, like, what should we expect from Donovan Edwards? And he was like, that I'll be up there with Walter Payton and Barry Sanders as the best running backs of all time. And I was like, that's exactly what I need right there. But yeah, man, he was awesome. So yeah, we got a ton of interviews still coming out, hopefully trying to get most of them out by the season. We have so many still in the bank right now that we haven't posted. So my goal is to get as many out as possible for the season, but we probably will bleed into the season a little bit. But yeah, man, most of every top player in college football we've been able to talk to so far and get a good 20-minute one-on-one interview with them. So it's been awesome. I know we're going to slow down the interviews during the season, but I don't know what exactly the show will be like during it. But yeah, man, so far it's been fantastic, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah. So everyone go check that out. I've listened to a couple interviews. Also, I want to volunteer us. Do you want us to police the internet when people try and pull like fake quotes from it? Because I've seen that happen a couple times.
Dude,
it's like, what's going on? Everyone needs to stop.
Oh my God, man. It's just one guy. Oh my. So I'll tell you guys a story about it too, because I hit up the guy. I was like, can you stop doing this, please? But yeah, so there's like 2 Caleb quotes that came out, and Caleb's a very open guy. Like he's going to tell you his opinion on things. He's not going to sugarcoat it. This guy put out 2 just ridiculous quotes though from Caleb, and it said via Max Chadwick PFF. And not only is it a bad look for me, like it's like not great because it's fake. And a reporter actually reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, is this real? Like, if so, I want to use it in my article." And I was like, "No, please do not, because it's not." But it looks bad for Caleb too, man. I mean, there's already a ton of people that already hate the guy for no reason, and now you're just giving him more ammo by doing this. But yeah, I hit up the guy who posted both on his Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, please stop doing this." And they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because it's fake." And they're like, "Oh, we didn't like make this graphic. We just found it." And I was like, "Oh, can you show me where?" And they didn't respond. And I was like, "Can you just please stop doing this?" And they're like, "Wait, why should we stop though?" And I was like, "Because it's fake." And they're like, "Well, how do you know it's fake?" And I was like, "Look at the person you're messaging, and then look at the graphic and tell me how I would know that." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll stop using that account, whatever that account was." I'm pretty sure they're making it up on their own. But yeah, when they said like, "How would you know it's fake?" And I was like, "Because I'm the guy who you're crediting in that graphic right there, man." But yeah, I would appreciate if you guys police them. But yeah, it sucks that I guess the silver lining is they think I'm credible enough to put my name on it and it'll look credible. But otherwise, it sucks for Caleb for sure, man. I feel bad for the guy because he does get a lot of unnecessary hate right now. Thank you, man. No. It was On3 logo. Thank God. It was the guy used an On3 logo, and then I think the other one used a Fox Sports logo. So it was like the same style graphic though, like the same design and everything. And I was like, is clearly the same guy. I think it's that Facebook account that I messaged. They just maybe were trying to hide behind the idea that, oh, we just got it from somewhere else. But yeah, man, both of them were ridiculous, and both of them I was like, this is just ridiculous. One of them, the second one, the first one was bad. The second one I thought was really funny because in the quote, Caleb was like, gave out this like extremely specific stat, like that you would have to research in order to get. And I was like, you guys really think Caleb would just come up with this stat like in the middle of his answer like that? I thought was ridiculous. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty terrible, man, for sure.
Yeah. We'll keep on it if that ever happens again. Good thing it hasn't, because yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, let's segue into some Mizzou stuff.
Mizzou stuff.
I mean, that's what we got questions for you here. Again, it looks like Mizzou's biggest strength this season is going to be the defense. You actually ranked the secondary one of the 8th best in the nation. How does that side of the ball just grade out on PFF and to you, and who are you excited to watch?
Yeah, man, that secondary is really good. And I thankfully, I put together my top 10 and I forgot about Mizzou before I submitted it. And I was like, oh, let me just like go through and like put them against everyone else. And I was like, oh my God, they leapfrog like the other 20 teams that I had on my list. So thankfully I remember them, because it would have been a really bad omission. I would have felt terrible about it, especially going on this show. I would have felt terrible about doing this. But yeah, man, Chris Avens-Strain was a guy that I loved a couple of years ago. I thought he had a good year, not as good as he was in 2021, but still a good year last year. Ennis Rakestraw Jr., I think, is another star in that secondary. I think Dalen Carnell is a really, really good slot corner. And then they have both their safeties back too, and Jalen Carleys and Joseph Charleston. So yeah, that secondary is loaded, and then maybe even better is that linebacker unit. I think the linebacker unit is one of the best in college football. I put it number 7. You can make a case that it should be higher than that, man, because I think Tyron Hopper, one of the best linebackers in the SEC, Chad Bailey, another, one of the best linebackers in the SEC, excuse me. So yeah, man, that defense, especially the second and third levels, and I know they just got that 5-star D tackle coming in next year, and Williams Nwaneri. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'll learn it soon because he is a superstar. The Mizzou defense, they're doing a pretty good job. Eli Drinkwitz is doing a pretty good job building up that defense right now. And yeah, they're going to be pretty loaded, at least at the second and third level of the defense right
now. Yeah, I mean, obviously the defense, it's returning a lot of contributors from last year, but the offense last year is definitely lagged behind, and it's looking for improvement. They lost Dominic Lovett, but they added Theo Weiss. They added Marcellus Johnson and Cameron Johnson to the O-line. And maybe the biggest addition was Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator from Fresno State. What do you think? Oh, and they obviously, they're having an open QB competition right now between Sam Horn, Brady Cook, and Jake Garcia. What do you think the ceiling could be for the offense? And what maybe does the offense just need to be for Mizzou to be able to take a next step with the pretty big returning defense?
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think the offense is the big question mark right now, especially at quarterback and what they're going to do there. I think Brady Cook is probably the favorite to win that job right now, but I seriously do not know. Dominic Lovett was a huge loss, man. I think he's a top 15-ish receiver in the country. Georgia, he might be the top receiver at Georgia this year. Him or Ladd McConkey, and obviously Brock Bowers is definitely the number one receiving threat there at Georgia. But I think Dominic Lovett is a terrific receiver, so he's a big loss. But I also think that Luther Burden III is in for a major year. We mentioned before how they just got that 5-star D tackle, was a top 3 player in the country. Luther Burden III was also a top 3 player in the country in his high school class just a couple years ago. So I think he's going to emerge as one of the premier SEC receivers this year. Theo Weiss, I like a lot too. I like Mookie Cooper. If they kept Dominic Lovett, they probably would have had a top 10 receiving core in my ranking too, because I do like a lot of the pieces they have in Mizzou. But yeah, man, that offense is going to come down to what the quarterback looks like and whether or not he can deliver the ball consistently to Theo Weiss and to Luther Burden III. But I do think this offense has star power potential, especially at receiver with Burden there. I seriously think he could be a Deebo Samuel-like player, man. He is special with the ball in his hands. So yeah, they better put the ball in his hands a lot next year, because I think he will be the by far the top player on that offense.
Some of those other weapons on the offense, the running back room hasn't looked as good since Tyler Beatty left. The tight end room hasn't looked good since Albert O left. Is there just like maybe a sneaky guy in that running back room that is kind of standing out at all? I know Cody Schrader was once a D3, D2 guy from Truman State. but now he's starting the SEC. Is that someone that really just turns anyone's heads?
Yeah, I think Cody Schrader's probably, the favorite right now to win that job. I like him. I like Nathaniel Pete too, who used to be at Stanford too. So yeah, listen, it's not as good as Tyler Beatty for sure, but they have some guys there that I think it would be an okay running back room. And I think the most important part for the run game, honestly, is the offensive line. And you mentioned before they got a couple transfers on that offensive line that should be starting in Cameron Johnson at center and probably Marcellus Johnson at right tackle. So yeah, man. And obviously, Javon Foster, too, I didn't even mention before. I mean, I mentioned before how Luther Burden III is probably the biggest star on the offense. The best player really on that offense, though, probably is Javon Foster. I think he is one of the best offensive tackles, not only in the SEC, but in college football. So, especially as a pass protector. So, I think, it's important that the offensive line gels together, and with Javon Foster leading them, I mean, I think it'll be a pretty decent offensive line. So that's the most important part to the run game, in my opinion, is the offensive line. And I think Mizzou should have a better offensive line, especially with Javon Foster still there at left tackle.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comp too with Luther to Debo. That feels exciting, at least for heading into his next year. Okay, switching. I have to switch to special teams, Max, because I'm a big kicker guy. Favorite position. Have you looked at Mevis at all? We've had some reports that the thicker kickers maybe slim down a little bit. You have maybe any thoughts on him or even just the special teams in general?
Yeah, dude, Mevis is a guy that I actually really like. I think he's one of the better kickers in college football. Let me check out his grades because I'm pretty sure he graded out really highly for PFF last year. But yeah, man, I think he's one of the better kickers in the SEC. Yeah, 83 grade last year, which is the best kickers are around the 85 range. So yeah, he's one of the best kickers. I probably see the top. I mean, I haven't put together my kicker rankings admittedly yet, but he's probably a top 5 to 10 kicker in college football right now. I think, it's unfortunate that he lost a little weight because I do love thicker kickers, as you put it. They have I'm a huge Penn State fan, and one of my all-time favorite players is Saquon Barkley, Micah Parsons, and Joey Julius, the kicker, who is this massive kicker, would just destroy dudes in the kickoff game too. I loved him. So yeah, hopefully Mevis keeps on the way because I think he's one of those electric players in college football. But even if he's not, man, I mean, I think this is a serious, NFL kicker down the line because I really do think he's one of the best kickers in the country.
Speaking of Penn State there, we know you're a Syracuse guy, of course, Newhouse, but you are a Penn State fan. Penn State picked up a pretty high ranking on the AP Top 25. You tweeted about it a little bit when it came out on Monday. What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, man. So I think Penn State, I think there were 7, right, on the AP poll. I would have Penn State. I think I had them 9. It's funny because Penn State fans always call me biased in the other way. They think that I didn't have Nick Singleton or Abdul Carter in my top 50 players. They were very mad about that. They've been mad at a lot of my rankings recently. So it's pretty funny that, they're accusing me of being a Florida State fan. It's no, dude, I grew up a Penn State fan my whole life. I just think Florida State is going to be a house this year. But yeah, I think, Penn State was a decent ranking for them. I think the AP poll really did a good job. Florida State was at 8, was lower than I would have had them. But that's what I expected out of them. But other than that, you compare the AP poll to my ranking, there really wasn't a team. There was 3 teams with a difference of 4 spots, which isn't a huge thing. Otherwise, everyone else is 1 to 2 spots similar. So, yeah, I think the AP poll did a pretty good job, and I think they nailed the top 3 with Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State. That's exactly the top 3 I had too. So, yeah, I think they did a really good job with the AP poll.
I want to just kind of, since we're broadening out a little bit just to the national sphere, I'm sure you've probably been asked about this a bunch, but it is kind of the talking point now of where college sports, not just football, is heading, but just your thoughts on all this craziness with expansion. I mean, the Big 20 or whatever it's going to be now, and what the Big 12's done, the SEC, do you like it for college football, in what you do? And I guess just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I think college football is best because of the traditions that they have, and obviously you're destroying a lot of traditions with this. The Pac-12 is dead now. And as a Penn State fan, and as you guys as Mizzou alums, we're okay. The SEC and Big Ten are going to be, it seems the 2 standing at the end of the day, if it ever does come to that. I think we're okay for now. I think the ACC is a pretty iron tight grant of rights deal that I know Florida State wants to get out of. I don't know how they can without paying hundreds of millions of dollars. So I think the ACC is okay. I think the Big 12 is okay too, with all the schools they're adding. So I think we're okay for now. I don't think we're in the spot yet where the ACC or Big 12 is gonna go the way of the Pac-12. And ultimately the Pac-12 just screwed it up, man. As much as it sucks and you feel bad for them, I feel bad for the fans of the Pac-12, especially Cal, Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State. I feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for the Pac-12 leaders because they really screwed the pooch on this one. I saw the report that ESPN was offering around the same money that Big 12 was getting, and then they said no, we want $50 million a year, which is what the Big 10 schools were getting. It's dude, come on, dude. ESPN literally said goodbye. We're not doing that. I'm sorry. So yeah, the leadership in the Pac-12. I don't feel bad for them at all. You really screwed this up, and the Big 12 beat you to the punch, man. The Big 12. Everyone thought the Big 12 was going to get their contract done a year after last year. This year is when we expected the Big 12 to get their contract done. They beat the Pac-12 to the punch, and they got their contract done. And then the Pac-12 was screwed because they're already a year late to get their negotiations done. Big 12's already got their deal. ESPN and Fox were looking at the Pac-12 and not really interested that much anymore because of this deal with the Big 12. And they knew USC and UCLA were already leaving. So the goal in the Pac-12 to still say, oh, we want $50 million a year, even with USC and UCLA leaving, was ridiculous. So again, I feel awful for the Pac-12 fans and the players and the coaches. But the leadership in the Pac-12, I do not feel sorry for because I really think they screwed this up big time. There's no one to blame but themselves.
Yeah.
Just another thing that's kind of fundamentally changed about college football over the last few years kind of feels like recruiting, just with NIL and all of that being tossed around. You had a tweet about it from Mizzou's perspective. They've reeled in Williams Nwaneri and Luther Burden, 2 top 3 in the nation guys. If you ask some sites, number 1 in the nation, all in the last few years. I don't think that would have been possible really without NIL before. Can you just kind of touch on what you think NIL is going to be in the future? Maybe your thoughts on how it's affected recruiting already and just kind of where we go from here?
Yeah, man, I think NIL is great. I think there's issues with it for sure, but there were a lot more issues when NIL was not a thing. You watch that Manziel documentary and you could see just how big of an issue it was that players. Texas A&M made $400 million off of Johnny Manziel's Heisman season. He didn't see a dime. So yeah, that was ridiculous. So I'm glad it's here now. I'm glad players can make the money off their own name, and I think it's helped some schools like Missouri too. They can pull these guys now from Alabama and from other schools like Georgia and stuff like that. And I don't know if it'll ever become a point where it's a very even landscape in college football. I don't think we'll ever get there. I think Alabama is always going to be Alabama as long as Nick Saban's there. Kirby Smart in Georgia. It'll always be kind of like that, but I think you're seeing more teams rise up now a little bit too. So I think it's great. I think there are issues with it for sure, though. I think, these collectives that they have right now, it really is like schools buying players, even though it's really like a wink, wink. Oh, we're not actually buying these players or paying these players. It's more the companies doing it. But in reality, it's a lot of the companies just giving the money to the coaches and to the university and saying, do what we want, do what you want with it. So that's an issue. I don't think that it should be much like that. But otherwise, I think this is the way college football should be. And I think it's a good thing right now. Now, I do think some more measures need to be taken to monitor it and not have it be the wild, wild west that it is right now. But if you're asking, do I think that we should go back to when players could not make a dime? Absolutely not. I think this is way better than it ever has been before. So yeah, man, it's awesome. And it's cool that, you're seeing a lot of top high school players go to different schools, and because they know, hey, me starting at one school is going to be a lot more valuable for me than me sitting on the bench at Alabama for 3 years before I can get my shot. So yeah, I think it's great for college football, man. I do think that measures need to be taken to help monitor it, but otherwise I think it's still great for college football.
You mentioned the Manziel documentary in there. Of course, you weren't working at PFF when Manziel was around, but think of a world where Manziel, you were covering Manziel for PFF, and also he was in the NIL world. How crazy would that have been?
Dude, oh my God, it would have been unbelievable.
Is it comparable to anyone?
No, I think he's in a different stratosphere of just superstars. I do think Caleb could get close to that point if he's not already. Because I think a guy like Johnny was great because not only was he the best player in the country, he also was the best player in the country, and he would let you know that he's the best player in the country. Like he was a very cocky guy, which just drew in so many viewers. I think Caleb's a little like that too. I was talking to Caleb for 20 minutes, and he very clearly is like, no, I know, I'm the guy. I'm the dude, which is great. So I think he is. I think Caleb can reach that level, especially with how talented he is. Caleb is not the partier that Johnny Manziel was. But yeah, man, it's tough because I think there are just certain players that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And hopefully Caleb can get to that level. But I mean, Johnny's in that stratosphere with guys like Tim Tebow, with guys like Reggie Bush back in the day too. So yeah, I think that Johnny is in a different level. I don't know if anyone will get to that level. He's still probably one of my favorite college athletes of all time. I made my girlfriend watch that documentary with me because I just listen, if you want to understand who I am as a person, you have to watch Johnny football with me. So yeah, I loved him when I was a kid, man. And it's cool seeing he's bouncing back a little bit right now. I was devastated that it couldn't work out in the NFL. But I think Caleb has the star power. He has the on-field ability, and he also has the star power off the field to get close to that level this year, especially playing at USC too in Los Angeles. I think if they have as a good of a year as I think they could have, and I'm predicting them to go to the college football playoff, yeah, I think Caleb could reach close to Johnny football level, but I don't quite know if he'll capture the lightning in the bottle magic that Johnny football had that 1 year though.
Were you as shocked as we all were when you found out, his dad doesn't actually come from oil money and the thing about faking a hard thing so that he could leave the combine and all that stuff?
Listen, I know a lot of people made fun of that documentary, or not made fun of. They criticized the documentary for leaving out a lot, and I agree. I think it should have been a 3-episode thing. They left out a lot, and the way it ended was weird. It was kind of maybe we should have done this documentary a few years down the line when we know where Johnny's life is at, because at the end he was like, yeah, I still don't know what I'm doing. So it's yeah, it was okay. So maybe a few years down the line this should have happened. But otherwise, dude, they had some stories in there that I could not freaking believe. The oil story blew my mind because I literally had to pause it. My girlfriend's like, why'd you pause it? I was like, this was the biggest reason why he was able to play. And everyone was like, oh, he comes from oil money. I accepted that as a kid too. So when he was like, oh yeah, I just completely made that up, I was like, oh my God, dude. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, all the stories. The combine stories were my absolute favorite. I thought those were hilarious. His agent, I think his agent might have been the star of the show, man. His agent was unbelievable. My favorite story, I think, was obviously him drinking, just chugging waters before his drug test at the combine. The other one though was the Browns workout where Johnny and the receivers just got plastered. And then his agent had to run routes for him at this workout with the Cleveland Browns, who ended up drafting him too. So maybe they should have signed the agent to a contract too if they were that impressed with Johnny. But the fact that his agent and his coach had to run routes for him as a pro day because he got the receivers so drunk the night before. Yeah, that to me was hilarious. So the stories they got out of it were unbelievable. Yes, the documentary could have been told in a better way. But otherwise, I mean, the content they got out of it was nuts. So, yeah, the heart attack story, too, was crazy. Yeah, I loved a lot of the stuff that they were able to get out of it, though.
My favorite was Cliff Kingsbury just being like, yeah, we just had to kind of let him do his thing.
Dude, the other one I loved was the Mississippi State one, where he's like, we're working out before the game. Johnny is just so hungover. And I go up to Johnny and go, man, you better have the fucking game of your life right now. And then he has the game of his life. He's like, you know what? I can't say anything else now. Whatever shape you want to show up to the game at is cool with me now because you proved to me that day that you could do it no matter how you're feeling.
Yeah,
I couldn't take Cliff seriously at all. He looked just like a frat guy with a playbook. That's all he was. Just a guy who knew how to run an offense.
Man. He's with Caleb this year too. So I hope maybe he can reach Johnny football levels, man. But yeah, Cliff was hilarious too.
His excursion to Thailand brought him back. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
You can throw Johnny football in here, but I want to ask, going back to your show, Preferred Walk On. You gave us some good moments that you've had so far talking to guys, but I'm going to ask you this. You can talk about if any more favorite moments have come up, but if there's one or a couple guys that you could maybe go back from just being a fan of college football, maybe if you were doing Preferred Walk On 5 years ago, who would you have liked to maybe talk to in their heyday in college?
Oh my God, Johnny Manziel is definitely number one. Easily. I mean, that guy would be an electric interview because he's got that Caleb personality. Because I mentioned this to you guys before. A lot of these players I'm talking to are some of the best players in the country, but they're so humble, which is great. That's the mindset that's great. But also, like, when you're interviewing them, you're like, dude, just tell me you're the best in the country. Like, get some fire, where it's like, they're like, no, I just, whatever helps the team win, man, I'm willing to do. It's like, great, but you're going to be a top 5 pick. Like, can you just tell me about that a little bit? So that's been great. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like some really just cocky, but awesome. Johnny Football's number 1. As a Penn State fan, Saquon would have been awesome. He's still my favorite player ever. Like, he did things on the field that I just would be amazed by. I'm trying to think of who other really cocky player. Jalen Ramsey was a mofo at Florida State. He was one of those guys that was the best player in the country, and he would let you know about it. I think he would have been awesome. I'm trying to think of some. I think Trevor Lawrence. He's another very, very humble guy, but I mean, he was so huge at Clemson. I think he would have been great. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some like cocky. I don't know if you guys have any answer, but like any like super cocky players that were so awesome too. But dude, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow definitely would be up there for sure. Yeah, because I think he would have given me some good stuff. But yeah, man. Otherwise, yeah, that's why the Caleb one to me still holds such a special place in my heart, because not only is he the best player in the country, but he was still probably one of the best interviews I've had. I don't know if he still is my favorite, because Donovan Edwards was that unbelievable. But yeah, I think Caleb was probably at least my second favorite interview, and he's also the best player I've talked to so far too. So yeah, that's why I love the cocky guys. Drazon Newton, another Illinois D tackle, who I think is the best D tackle in the country. He was another amazing player, top 10 player in the country in my opinion, who also was like a little fiery. And I asked him why he came back, and he was like, "Oh, I look at mock drafts, I'm not even the top 2 rounds." He's like, that can't happen for me. I got to be a first round pick. Usually you don't hear that. You don't hear players talking about mock drafts. So the fact that he's so focused on the NFL draft was pretty awesome. So yeah, he was another guy that I love talking to.
Some guys that came to mind just for me when you were mentioning that is a guy from Mizzou named Matty Mock. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes,
he was supposed to be a big-time quarterback, had some drug problems. I don't know if he was, like a hard-headed, I'm the best quarterback out here, but he was a pretty fine recruit. So I think he would have been a fun one for you. I think one of the ones that really comes to mind is Jadeveon Clowney. I think he would have been fun right around that time of the Outback Bowl. I mean, that one hit just solidified him as the number 1 overall pick.
He got drafted first overall because of that one play, basically. Yeah, he would have been. I also, something I want to do is talk to some players that just didn't work out. But also have like really cool stories too. Like one guy who I'd love to bring on eventually, and if you're watching this right now, hit me up. Brad Kaya. Do you guys remember Brad Kaya? He
was supposed to be a number 1 overall pick, and then he went in the 6th round the next year.
6th round, right, and he didn't work out in the NFL. Whatever, it happens a lot. He now is a screenwriter for like TV shows, and he has always wanted to be a screenwriter his whole life. He just happened to be this unbelievable quarterback, so he had to obviously see how this goes first. But I think his parents are both screenwriters, and now he's doing screenwriting for TV shows and movies. I think that interview is so cool, man, because it's like, you're supposed to be the number 1 overall pick. It just didn't work out for you. It happens. But now you're really chasing your life dream right now. It's kind of like the Randy Johnson thing. Randy Johnson, of course, worked out as a pitcher. He's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But now you see him as an NFL photographer, and it's like, this is actually my life passion, not pitching. So yeah, those kind of guys too. I would love to just get some quote unquote busts that ended up working out in something else in life. I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, that would be. Okay, next thing right here, we're going to segue into a different topic. We brought this up a couple times. We'll tweet it at you here and there, but you're big time now. You're big time, Max. You've been on Paul Finebaum a couple times. We're the jealous type, but we'll let you grow as a journal or as a PFF analyst. Are you and Paul pretty tight?
I don't. I'd be surprised if he still remembers my name right now, honestly. But I went on 3 times. The 3rd time was with Roman Harper, who was a former Saints player. He hosted it was a radio, not a TV hit, which sucked because I thought it was a TV hit and I got all dressed up for it. I went down to the studio sweating bullets because of how hot it was outside. And they're like, "All right, cool, we'll call you in like a few minutes." And I was like, "Wait, it's not TV." And they're like, "No." I was like, "Dude, I could have been in like my underwear doing this then." But yeah, otherwise, yeah, Paul was cool. I think Paul, I don't want to sound like braggadocious or like that. But Paul, I think, was good because the first time I went on, we had like a few topics that we're going to talk about. And I really prepped for that, and he just did not stick to the script. He asked me to be one of them, and then he just went off on a few other tangents. Like I was able to at least keep up with him a little bit. So I think I earned his respect a little bit, hopefully, with that. And then I think that's why I was invited back. But yeah, man, he's a legend. He's a legend of the game. And I love Paul. And yeah, I think he is basically the daytime talk show of college football right now. So being on that show was kind of a dream come true, honestly. So yeah, he was a pretty awesome guy. And hopefully I'm able to go on again pretty soon.
One time we were sitting in our student center, maybe our sophomore year, so 2 or 3 years ago. Peyton and I were just sitting there, nothing to do. So we called in the Paul Finebaum show. I was sweating bullets, and I'm just a fan. I'm calling in, just like, what am I going to ask? We were just bouncing questions off. We had no idea what we were going to say. And then they said my name, Kenny from Columbia. And I was like, how's Mizzou basketball going to do in the tournament this year? And he's like, we talked about this yesterday, blah, 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 and then hung up. It was just so fast. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't know why we did this.
So I was also so nervous before my first time because obviously, going on with first time I was nervous, but also because the guy before me was this Alabama reporter, and God bless his soul, man. But Paul had him on, talked about the quarterback battle for like 1 second. And then after that, he just started grilling this reporter because Paul, huge Alabama guy, plays in this golf tournament every year that apparently Nick Saban also plays in. Nick, for whatever reason, did not show up. But he just started grilling this reporter, like, why wasn't Nick there? What was he doing? Why did he not show up to this golf tournament? And this poor reporter was like, Paul, you have to ask the secretary. Like, I don't know what I'm sorry. He just like, he basically, I think, invited him on just to grill him about that. And he asked like one on-field question, and the other 15 minutes was just spent just hounding this guy. I was like, oh my God. This is right before I'm going on for the first time too. I was like, oh God, dude, what is going to happen right now when I go on here? But yeah, man, he's a guy that just it's the Paul Finebaum show for a reason, man. And his producers are fantastic too. But yeah, Paul's a legend, man, and yeah, he's an awesome guy.
I think he's one of the only people that has like a daytime talk show that someone's called in and admitted to a federal crime. When that guy that was an Alabama fan called in,
yeah,
I killed them trees, Paul.
Yeah.
Like, I thought about just saying that.
You did not do that for me. Like, we're gonna call the police on you. Yeah, that is when he entered legendary status. Is like when that's a national story, obviously. So, yeah, the dumbest criminal of all time for sure. The fact that he just called into a national radio show and TV show and admitted to it was the dumbest thing. I hope we get it 30 for 30 on that, honestly.
I think we got an E60.
Oh, we did? Okay, yeah, I'll check it out then. Yeah. I do remember seeing something about it. But yeah, man, it's funny because like after my first time on it too, like he just had a couple fans just going at each other, calling each other cockroaches. It's like, it really is like a daytime Maury type talk show. Like, it really is.
People live to call into that show.
Oh my God, yeah. It's the funniest thing in the world. But like also, I said, it's his show, man. He's such a legend that he could do whatever the heck he wants, and nobody can say anything to him. So man, he's definitely a legend.
Top 2 dumb criminals with him and Chiefsaholic, if we're talking sports related criminals.
Yeah.
Chiefsaholic.
That'll be the next Mount Rushmore we do when we get out.
sports criminals.
The dumbest criminals ever. Yeah.
Just speaking kind of on rabid fans and fan bases, I'm kind of curious what your answer would be here. What do you think the best game day atmosphere is,
dude,
at a college?
I can't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be. You're gonna call me biased, man, but I think it really is a true answer. Is the whiteout at Penn State? I think that's just. There's nothing like a whiteout, and now they've screwed it up the last few years. They've been like doing because Big Noon, man, is the worst. Big Noon kickoff. Great show. Love the analyst. Love the host. Love the people who work on it. But it sucks that they do the biggest games at noon for Big Ten because otherwise, the Penn State Michigan game or Penn State Ohio State game is always the whiteout game. Last few years, it's been like Minnesota. I think this year's Iowa, which are good teams, but it's not the top 5 matchup you usually get with Penn State Michigan. But even so, man, it's still the best atmosphere in college football, and you'd be hard pressed. I haven't visited too many college stadiums. I'm hoping going to change that more in the near future. But you'd be hard pressed. I'd be very hard pressed to find a better atmosphere than a whiteout at Penn State. Now, maybe a typical game day atmosphere there's other places that are better. But if you want to just talk about like one singular atmosphere, I think the whiteout at Penn State is by far the best.
There's a video. I just like will watch this like routinely. They were playing Michigan, and they played Mo Bamba over the speakers on the first play of the game, and Michigan like got a false start right away, and then they put it back on, and like the announcers don't even talk. They just let the fans like that's one of my favorite things with announcing when they just let the fans go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was I was like, I don't know how you could play a game here as a road team.
I will say that was cool. However, they overplayed the hell
Oh, yeah.
out of Omoa. Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude! It got because I actually went to the whiteout last year. I took my girlfriend to it. It sucks it was the Minnesota one because I wanted to take her to like a huge whiteout. But yeah, they played Mo Bamba like every third down, and we just look at each other and be like, oh my god, like please stop. And then of course the student section is just all singing it, and it's just like it got to the point where it was annoying. But yeah, that I know the clip you're talking about. Yeah, that was super cool. But yeah, hopefully they get some other songs in the rotation. They played it, I think, 45 times that game. Like it was unbelievable.
I have another follow-up for this. When you mentioned Big Noon Saturday, I can just think of that one screenshot in the Sickos Committee account. It's like Iowa versus Michigan, halftime 0-0. And the more I think about it, these Pac-12 teams are coming in here. They score. I mean, how much different do you think that's going to be Oregon facing Iowa each year?
Oh, dude, the game, maybe my most anticipated game of the next few years is when USC has to go to Iowa and play in November. Like, I think that is just going to be so not only like it'll be a good matchup probably, but not only that, but it's going to be hilarious watching USC just, in Iowa, in Iowa City. But yeah, I think it'll be an adjustment for both. I think it'll be an adjustment for the Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA, and the fact that it's a physical brand of football that they just haven't really played before, and they're going to be running down your throat, and you better be prepared and have the guys on defense for that. That'll be an adjustment for the Pac-12 teams. It's going to be an adjustment for the Big Ten teams too, man. It's not going to be, because I've seen a lot of Big Ten fans saying, "Oh man, we're going to beat the hell out of them when they come in." It's like, no, dude, they got some of the best receivers in the country. They got Caleb Williams. Look at what Ohio State does to you with C.J. Stroud and all these receivers. Look at how they torch you. That's kind of what they're going to be doing to you as well. So, I think Big Ten fans are getting a little high on their horse right now and saying, oh, we're just going to run them over. Yeah, maybe you'll be able to out-physical them a little bit, but they're going to air it out on you, and they're going to torch you in your secondary if you're not ready. So, yeah, it's going to be adjustment for both parties, man, because these schools are going to come in, and they're going to punch you in the mouth a little bit with their aerial attack. So I'm excited to see how these brands of football mesh with the Big Ten.
That was humbling. I am one of those Big Ten fans that is on his high horse. As a Wisconsin fan, I'm like, they're not going to come here.
Do that. Yeah.
They're not going to come here in the winter, and we're just going to bully ball them. But no, I think you make a really good point. Well, Max, thank you so much. We're going to keep you around because we're going to segue. We've got probably the most important thing that anyone has come here to watch.
It's the only reason I came on
the show. Yeah, the only reason you came on. We're gonna finish the show with a Mount Rushmore. We're going to do Mount Rushmore fast foods to close the show, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to finish the show. We're keeping Max around because we've done this with Max before. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore as we've been doing. So now we have 4 people. It's going to get more contentious. We're going to do Mount Rushmore fast food chains, but we need to have a discussion. Kenny, what do we got to figure out these parameters.
So yeah, my first thought, is keeping more of these drive-through ones only in here in the conversation, which could get pretty tricky with places like Chipotle, Subway, these ones that you do consider as fast food. The more I was thinking about it, I was thinking like if you go to Whataburger, you can go through the drive-through, you can order at the counter, but I'm thinking more of like one that they just bring the food out to you and it's not like you're like a restaurant style. Like, I mean, I think Torchy's is kind of tough because it's more of like a restaurant for those like Southern people that know of Torchy's. It's going to be tough. I think we can talk about it if someone makes a pick that's controversial and we can vote on it.
We have to, I think we go pick by pick and we can overrule.
Okay. And pizza places, are we going to say pizza places are cool? Like Domino's, like that, those category, would we count those as fast food?
I think so.
I think so too. I think you can.
Okay.
I think we can count them.
I don't think of it in the same vein, but if it's fine.
If you want to pick it, it's fine. I'm probably not going because I don't think it's.
Okay. I'm not going to pick that, but if you want,
it's fine.
I might pick one. Okay, Max, we were going to give you the choice. Do you want to go first or
last?
Or last? Because otherwise, we've been spinning a wheel, and we've had a lot of accusations that I've been rigging the wheel. So I would prefer if you just pick the order.
I'll go first because I think there's a clear number one that I need to get on my board.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So we're going Max, and then what? You want to go the order we have
Max,
on the screen? So Peyton, me, and then you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that fine with you?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. We're gonna snake it. So yeah, like the Mount Rushmores we've been doing, but 4 people. All right, Max, you're clear 1-1. You have the floor. Go for it.
Okay, my number 1 overall pick. This is not my favorite, but my favorite is a place I do not think any of you are going to pick. So I'm going to keep that for my later round. Hopefully I can get it. But my number 1 overall pick, and if I'm driving down the highway and every fast food place is available, the one I'm probably going to pull into is Chick-fil-A. I think that is the clear number 1. The only thing that sucks about it, besides some of their morals, but also the fact that they're not open on Sundays is brutal. Because I can't tell you how many times I've driven to Chick-fil-A on a Sunday at 12 p.m. before a 1 o'clock kick for NFL, and it's just not open, and it's devastating. But maybe absence makes the heart grow fonder a little bit. Maybe that makes me want to go back there even more on the following Monday or even Saturday. But yeah, I mean, the chicken is unbelievable. The chicken nuggets are unbelievable. Fries are okay. I'm not a huge waffle fry guy. They're good. The sauces are unbelievable. I don't really eat the sandwich that much, but I do like it when I've had it. But I usually get the nuggets and fries, man, and that is, to me, by far the best chicken. It's so consistent. You won't find a better chicken than Chick-fil-A, and I think it is universally. I mean, I'm wondering if you guys would all have this too as your number 1, but I think this is the clear number 1 pick.
I don't think Max has an off switch. He just broke that down like he broke down a prospect. He's getting
that was a strengths and weaknesses, man, for sure. That's off-field issues for Chick-fil-A for sure.
Yeah, some
on the field, you won't find a better product. Yeah,
some controversies. Yeah.
Oh, it almost feels like the Tim Tebow of college football. Really passionate about their faith and doesn't play on Sundays. Like he doesn't play on Sundays anymore.
Not anymore.
He barely did. He tried it out and didn't work.
Yeah. Exactly,
so I think it's very high end. I mean, you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A. I definitely agree that's the best first pick.
Tim Tebow is the greatest college quarterback of all time, I would say too, man. So I think Chick-fil-A number 1, I think is the pretty clear answer. But
if we have the Tim Tebow of restaurants, I want to know who the Johnny Football of restaurants is. Maybe it'll get picked in this draft. But I'll throw that out for you guys to think about.
Yeah.
But. All right, Peyton.
Yeah, I mean, Chick-fil-A was probably going to be my 1-1. But, I mean, I have a clear second option. It's going to be Wendy's for me. They built one across the street from the J School at Mizzou. That was a power move for them because, I mean, that was – every Wednesday, us 3 would go to Wendy's for some lunch. It's just all reliable. Never really has a down day. Love the spicy nuggets. The Frosties are iconic. The fries, I think the fries get a bad rep. I think the fries are good. And that's my probably go-to.
4 for 4.
You could almost call that one the Johnny Manziel of restaurants because it can get attached to a gas station. It can be torn up, but it could also look just so nice.
There you go.
The burgers. The only thing I'll say, the burgers are messy though. Is the only thing I would say. But I love them. I think it's a good pick. But yeah, I will say the one con I would say the burgers are. Trying to eat that burger, you're gonna get disgusting after you eat that burger.
For sure.
What about a Waffle House? Is the Johnny Football of?
Yeah, when you if you walk inside of the Waffle House, you're probably not in the best state physically or mentally. You're probably under some substances, so maybe something worse.
Or you've lost a fantasy football league.
Yeah,
some sort. All right, I'm on the clock at 3. This is
I'm
where
on the clock.
Are you on the clock? I thought it was me.
I thought we were doing it.
Oh, you're right. I'm last. You're right. You're up, Kenny.
We're going.
Don't take my restaurant.
Okay. Well, I think as a Texan, I have to go Whataburger here. I don't think I can really go anywhere else. I know a lot of people might not like certain things about Whataburger. A lot of people love things about Whataburger. Growing up on it, be honest, I'm getting kind of tired of it. I had In-N-Out not too long ago, and I think there's a lot of pluses at In-N-Out that Whataburger doesn't have. But I'm going to go Whataburger here.
I never had it before. I don't live in the South, obviously.
It is quite good.
I have to get it. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, so I'm excited to get it if I ever come down there.
I'd never had it until I went to school, and I would be more mad, but Kenny grew up with it, and I think he deserves to have it in his team. I love it. Barbecue chicken strip sandwich is
Oh, that was your
phenomenal,
pick then.
but-
If you were able to go.
It would have been one of my two. Yeah, it would have been one of my two. But I won't. I'm not going to get mad because Kenny's had it around for longer.
There's
earned
one
that
3
more.
minutes from my house. You exit my neighborhood and it's right there on the
Yeah.
highway. So I think, I mean, it's been pretty tough not to miss
It's
a
your-
Whataburger in my life.
It's your place. I can't take that
Yeah.
from you.
I mean, after high school football games in Texas, you're going to Whataburger. I know a lot of people might go to like Sonic or some like restaurant, but it's Whataburger. It's like everyone goes to.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I have two, right? If we're snaking this.
Yeah.
So I've got my two. This is why I had to lobby for the no drive-throughs because my first pick is Chipotle. I love Chipotle. There was one Max right next to the Wendy's that we would all eat at, and I used to go there. Pretty much every Friday, and I would tweet my burrito that I would get every time. Now I've dropped off, but I love that place. It's so good. There's so many options.
Doesn't losing your metabolism just suck, dude?
Yeah,
It's
it's a rough.
It's the
a
worst.
rough
I
one.
used to be such a piece of shit in college eating like that, and now it's like I can't do it more than like once every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
It's the biggest depressing moment I think of my life so far.
You just feel bad
I'm
going in there,
actually
you're
getting
like-
fat now. Like before, I would just put down this 5 times a week, and I would stay skinny. And now it's like, oh shit, I'm getting a double chin right now. Like maybe I should slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, that is real. But I'm gonna pick Chipotle, and then Kenny went with a restaurant from his homeland. I'm gonna go with one from mine. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm gonna pick Culver's. It started up there. Just a great establishment. I love their food. Obviously, the custard speaks for itself, and they have good cheese curds. So.
Dude, cheese curds. I never had cheese curds. My girlfriend's from Wisconsin, so when I visited her,
Oh,
I never
nice.
had it before. Oh my god, dude, they're unbelievable.
They're good. Yeah.
I had the Butterburger. I've only had it Culver's
Mhm.
once. Isn't this Butterburger right?
Yeah,
I've
the
heard it's really
Butterburger's
good.
the Butterburger's like well known. The curds.
And I've heard I was actually watching the Barstool fast food draft they just put out, and they were talking about this one too. And they said that the chicken tenders are like unbelievable.
Oh, that's what I get. They're good. They're like way higher quality than like a Wendy's or
Okay.
McDonald's or like.
I want chicken tenders to stop getting the bad rap of being kids food, dude. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
You get frowned upon for ordering chicken tenders as an adult now. Like that's ridiculous. Like it's elite. Like the fact that it's now a kid's food, I think it should graduate to being a regular food that everyone can eat now.
I like that.
I'm glad
Go ahead, Kenny.
I'm glad you brought up the chicken tenders because they're so clean. Like they're just like shiny almost. Like I saw it and I'm like, are these fish sticks? Like I was so confused.
They're great.
Yeah.
Only the high quality ingredients. Also, Max, I like that you said that they're now classified as a kid's food. I think that we're always classified as a kid's food. We just used to be kids eating them.
Yeah.
And now we're
exactly.
adults and we want them upgraded.
But if no one else has the courage to stand up for chicken tenders and have them be an adult food, I'll do it, man.
You're fighting a good fight.
It's frankly ridiculous the reputation that chicken tenders have got.
Frankly ridiculous. I agree. All right, I'm going Culver's and Chipotle. So Kenny.
Jack, the best part of that pick is that you can't even eat custard.
I can't eat custard. This is true. I'm allergic to it. I don't care.
I think it's a veto then if you can't even eat the
No,
one thing at that already.
the food's good enough. If this is a veto, then I'm going to be.
I think you're pandering.
I got allergies. No. Their food's quality enough. I promise.
That's fair. Yeah, I only had it once and it was very good when I had it. So
yeah, but the custard, from what I hear, is good.
that's fair.
All right, Kenny, you're back.
All right, this is my next one where it could be a little tough. You guys could veto it if you don't consider it a fast food chain. But Shake Shack. I mean, it's kind of
that's
high end.
1000%, dude. That's my number.
Yeah.
Okay,
overall.
you can make it. Okay, then we'll go Shake Shack there. I mean, I love Shake Shack. They have it at the Astro Stadium Minute Maid. You can't go wrong. I mean, the shakes are unbelievable. No matter which one you get, the black and white, cookies and cream, vanilla, chocolate. The avocado bacon burger might be the greatest thing like ever made. I don't think any other burger competes with it. And it's one that they took off the menu, but you can still order it, and it's so good. I mean, it's hard to beat. Those fries are good too.
The crinkle cut fries, I was just going to mention. The crinkle cut is I'm usually like the skinny fries, but crinkle cut is elite. One con, I want to give a con for every single one of these. That way I get all the viewers on my side here. Shake Shack makes you wait so freaking long, dude. Sometimes the line is ridiculous, and then sometimes when you order it takes like 20 minutes too. So I will say that the wait for it has gotten ridiculous a little bit recently.
That's why I wouldn't have called it fast food. It's like if you guys wanted to veto it, it does take some time. You kind of sit there, play on your phone.
They're not just slapping it together like a lot of other places. They're taking their time with it.
Yeah,
Put some care into
got to
it.
perfect.
Also, another thing that just came to mind about is that some of them, like some of the high end Shake Shacks, they have beer on tap. So I was like, I don't know if we can consider this a fast food restaurant if you can buy alcohol there. So
No.
that's why
Well,
I'm also in that boat.
I think it's definitely fast food.
Yeah, they got the
Yeah.
Taco Bells. You can get the Baja Blast with like rum in it at some Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So it counts.
Yeah. I think we came to the understanding before is like fast food is, to me at least, is anything that you can either get through a drive-through or order at a counter. If you sit down and eat it, then I don't think it's fast food. But otherwise, I think getting it at a counter or ordering a drive-through, I think constitutes a fast food place to me.
Cool. Agree. All right, Peyton.
I'm gonna also carry on the fight for chicken tenders, and I'm going to take Raising Cane's with my second pick. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, the chicken doesn't have seasoning. Oh, the fries can be soggy sometimes." First of all, that very rarely happens to me. And second of all, even if all of that was true, you drown it in the Raising Cane sauce, and it is a good meal. The Raising Cane sauce is the best dipping sauce in the business. I like the chicken at Raising Cane's. I like the fries. They're also crinkle cut. So that's my number 2. There's another one also close to where Kenny and I lived at Mizzou. That was a favorite.
And you always substitute your fries for more coleslaw, right?
Yeah,
we can all
always
agree
slaw.
on that.
Okay, all right.
Always slaw.
Jesus.
We're slaw
Instead of the
people
bread,
there.
can I get slaw? And instead
Can I
of the
just get
chicken,
slaw?
can I just get slaw?
Animals. Oh, I didn't even mention the toast. The toast is top 2.
I was going to say, Peyton, you
Toast
missed
is
the toast and the sauce combination is unmatched. I think, and the power move you get of switching your side of slaw for another sauce. I just get so happy. I'm like, oh, I'm getting 2 sauces and no vegetables. This is a great day.
Dude, I just had it for the first time recently because Cincinnati. It's not a thing in Jersey where I lived. Cincinnati has one though, and I was able to get one when I first moved there, and it is elite, man. The chicken tenders were great. You guys hating on the fries, right? I think the fries are pretty good, man.
Oh, I love the
like
fries,
their
but a lot
salad.
of people don't.
I hate coleslaw.
I don't know if
too.
this is
I'll
a
be honest.
bad take. I like
Same.
soggy fries. I don't know. It's something
I don't
That's
mind
horrible.
soggy fries.
Yeah, I
That's
gotta
a horrible
No,
take.
I gotta be.
It's good.
I'm gonna kind of agree.
Gotta be.
Maybe
Shove
okay,
them in
I
your
should
mouth.
clarify. Just
Dude, that's the
soggy
worst
fries,
take we've had so far.
Yeah.
The soggy
be
fries
crispy.
at Cane's are fine.
It's terrible.
Do you just like get your fries and like stick them in a fridge and then eat them the next day? Is it like how?
Yeah, put them in
Oh,
a
that's
microwave. And then
disgusting.
they're all
That's
gross.
terrible.
Dude.
That's basically
But
what
if
you're
they're,
eating.
like,
Is soggy
soggy,
fries.
You can like put them back together and
Lukewarm.
make the potato almost. Like that's what.
Oh, what?
They're just
Yeah.
downing it.
No. What's everyone's favorite kind of fry? You don't like Max? You said you don't like the waffle. I kind of like waffle.
I listen. I'm not here discriminating against any fries. Fries is one of my.
That's fair.
Fries would be maybe my number 1 overall food. But yeah, if I would prefer steak fries, I don't like that much. I don't like the fatter fries.
Yeah,
Sure.
But otherwise, I like the skinnier the better. Honestly,
That's fair. I like curly too.
unlike me. Yeah.
I think I like
Yeah.
straw fries the most. The really tiny, crunchy
Yeah.
ones are my
Those
favorite.
are good, dude.
Those
Those
are
are
good.
good.
All right, Max. You have your second and third on the clock now.
Fellas, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing here. You basically just like gave me, if we're doing like a Disney character draft, you just gave me Mickey Mouse in the second round here. Like this is the thing that invented the wheel, dude.
No.
This is McDonald's, man.
Damn it! I wanted.
This
I was
is
hoping
insane
that
that
would
it
come
got back to me here. I thought about taking it 1-1, dude. It's my number 2 overall pick. I don't think I have to say it. I mean, it's everywhere. It's literally the biggest fast food chain in America, and you guys are out here picking some regional ones. I mean, man, I'm running away with this draft right now. But the chicken nuggets are fantastic. I think they're very underrated. The Big Mac's always very good. There's not a better fry than McDonald's French fry. I'm going to my grave saying that. I think
100%.
quality has taken a step down recently. I don't think they're as crispy as they used to be. So maybe you can make an argument with some other fries.
Kenny likes
But I
them,
think the McDonald's fry is elite, and there's something different in that Coke, man. There's something different in that Coke. They might actually,
Sprite.
they might the Sprite too. They might keep. I know the Coke originally had traces of cocaine in it. They might actually keep it because you take a sip of that, dude, it wakes you up quick. McDonald's Coke, McDonald's Sprite, man, it is. If an athlete ever drinks that and then gets drug tested, they'll probably fail it, honestly, because there's something in there. But yeah, man, it is. It's literally the OG, and I cannot believe that it fell to me here in the second round.
Dipping your fry in a McFlurry is very nice too.
They never have McFlurries. That's the one that
the ice cream machine's broken.
Myself, ice cream machine's always broken. And I'm like, I know, I fucking see it back there working. I know it's not broken.
You guys are just making them for yourselves.
Yeah. Which is completely fair. They're working their ass off anyway, so I'm sure it's like I'm not that upset by it. But
I was just talking to some people too. McDonald's has been hit by inflation too, because McFlurries used to be like 60 cents, and now they're like $2.
Yeah. The dollar menu is ridiculous. The dollar menu is dead, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I cannot believe I this would have been my number 2 overall pick if I had it too. So I'm super happy with my board right now.
You can always look in the window too, like you were saying, and you see a cup over the little holder. It's like, take the fucking cup off. Like I know it's right
What's
there.
What's behind that cup?
And Max, I don't know if you know this. There's a website and an app that tells you if they're broken or not at certain locations. People log it into the app, so it might be something to look into.
I might download that app, dude.
It's called McBroken.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I can't download that. That to me would just be the ultimate. Like, what are you doing with your life? So, yeah,
someone's looking through your phone.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is this?
What's the McBroken?
Oh, it tells you which McDonald's machines are working. Yeah, that'd be a tough look for sure. But yeah, like that was pretty good.
All right, Max, what's your second one?
Fuck. Oh, see, this is tough now because now so we're doing 4 rounds, correct?
Yeah. So you'll have one more after this.
Okay, good. Because I think that if one of you takes it, I'm going to be distraught. But I think it'll be there for me in the 4th round. So I'm going to pass on it here. But you guys took all my other ones. Shit, man. All right. I'm going to have a hot take here that I know you guys are going to hate it, and I would understand. But for some reason, I get this so often. It's Subway.
No. Oh, man.
I might have just tanked what would have been the greatest draft of all time, honestly. Like what the Cardinals will get next year when they take Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. Basically, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. But man, listen, I get the meatball sub at Subway all the time. I know it's not good. I know the quality is not good. I understand, you're lying to yourself if you think you're eating healthy by eating there. But a lot of these other fast food places, man, I'm not a huge fan of, honestly. So yeah, I think this to me is, I don't love it, but it's something that I consistently go back to, and I can't explain why. I'm a big meatball sub guy. I guess it's my jersey coming out a little bit in me. But yeah, they have a good meatball sub, I have to say. And this is the one if I'm being honest, and what I get most often, Subway's probably in my top 5, man. So I can't lie to myself and say, I know it's not good. I understand the qualms against it, but to me, it's something I always get, and I have to be honest with myself in this one.
I had that very much on my board. I thought that was easily going to fall back to me because I I don't care. I get there are other better sub places. When Kenny Payton and I went to Mizzou, there was only 2 actual restaurants you could use your dining dollars at, and Subway was just such a quick and easy lunch. That place has a forever spot in my heart.
Okay, so you like it?
Yeah, I do. It's
how
fine.
How do you other two feel about it? Because it's controversial for sure.
I went into college not liking Subway, and then freshman year, it was like one of my favorite places on earth. It was so easy, and I genuinely grew to love. I don't even get my subs toasted. I just get them. I just get some cold subs.
I always get
and I
toasted.
think it's delicious.
I toast. Yeah, it's like. I think this is definitely not the majority take because I know there are better sub places out there.
This is a reach. I know this is a reach, but this is something
that's all right. We can be the Subway defender draft. That's fine. I don't know. I would get that place for lunch every day. It was filling. It was good. Like chicken bacon ranch was nice.
So my girlfriend worked at Subway, and there's one at Syracuse. So she worked at that one for a little bit, and they call themselves sandwich artists. They eventually heard of coworkers who call themselves sand bitches. I thought it was hilarious. But they so I would this makes me sound horrible. I would get it literally like every Tuesday, maybe even Thursday, because I had a class that was in that building. And I just get meatball subs over and over and every time. I wouldn't get anything else but meatball sub. And eventually I went in there and she was working with the girl who I always had a relationship because I just would be there twice a week. And Megan said to the worker, I think Alice was her name, and she was like, "Oh, Alice, by the way, this is my boyfriend Max." And Alice is like, "You're dating Meatball Guy?" The fact that you have the fact that I'm Meatball Guy is not a good sign. I had to take a long, hard look at myself in the mirror after that. But I went there so often in college that I was Meatball Guy to them. I do think though I was usurped. My girlfriend came home and she said, "Hey, you've been usurped as Meatball Guy." I said, "Oh God, what happened?" She goes, "This guy came in, ordered a full sub, and you know how you can get double meat on it?
Yeah.
He got double meatballs on it, and there was already 8. And if you guys ever had the meatball sub at Subway, it's packed, dude. There's not much room to wiggle here. So you can usually get half, more. So like it'd be another 4. He got double, so another 8, and they couldn't even like close the bread over. I was like, dude, why don't you just get 2 subs, man? You're not lying to yourself saying, "Oh, I don't want the extra carbs with the spreads." Dude, you got 16 meatballs in that sub right now, man. But so I think I was usurped by Meatball Guy by that guy. But yeah, the fact that I was known as Meatball Guy in that Subway
Meatball Guy,
pretty brutal for me, honestly.
Funny.
When you walked in, did they get all excited? They're like, "Oh, Meatball Guy!"
Meatball Guy. Yeah. After that, I was like Meatball Guy. But yeah, and then once she said, "Oh, you're dating Meatball Guy," and I was like, "Oh shit." And then Meg goes, "Oh, so what do you want?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take the meatball sub." But yeah, man, I love the meatball sub there. Again, Subway's controversial. I know a lot of people hate it, but I always seem to get it. So I can't lie to myself and say that I'm not a Subway fan.
I like it. You have an ally in me. I wanted that pick.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I thought you guys were gonna roast me for that, honestly. But yeah,
I like Subway.
Great pick. Good pick. All right, Peyton. Oh, my big board is dead.
I'm gonna go a bit of a sleeper pick here. I think it's good, but I don't think it's on a lot of people's radars. I'm gonna go with Freddy's here. I just think Freddy's does everything really solid. Like the chicken there, that's basically what I get everywhere. The fries, like I said earlier, my favorites are like straw fries, tiny fries. Freddy's nails those. I've gotten the hot dogs from there before. They're good. The custard is good, but I don't get that often. So it's just a solid restaurant that I have lived around for a while. So I get it pretty often.
Is that a regional thing? I've never seen or.
I think it somewhat is. It's just like a Midwest thing, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Maybe it'll happen in Cincinnati then. I'll like check it out. I've never even heard of it.
I've never had it either. But good pick.
Sad.
Kind of jumping back to the Subway thing real quick. I just thought about it. I ate at Subway probably every single day after school in like high school and middle school just because it was like right there. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I think I graduated. To Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's, more of like the more high-end cold sandwich meals. I'm not going to take them, but I'm just saying I think that's where I went with that. Peyton, this is a tough one for me because I don't know why you haven't taken it yet, but Bojangles is still on here.
Oh God, what am I doing?
Oh no, Peyton. Peyton.
God.
Oh my God.
Forget about Bojangles.
You gotta make a big board, dude. I have my big board locked and loaded right now, man.
That was so stupid. That would have been my first overall pick.
I thought you.
God.
That's another South thing that I've never had before, but I've heard. I think I had it once.
It's the greatest restaurant on planet Earth.
Yeah, I have heard it's good.
Oh no!
Your last 2 answers you set up like perfectly with like chicken. I'm like, okay, just get taking Bojangles. Like it's still there. You still haven't taken it. All right.
God. I mean, Cookout is still over Bojangles.
Cookout is still up there. I mean, I can just let it sit here for a second and just think about it for my next pick.
You get 2. You get this one and another one before him.
And I mean, I could just let Jack take him too, and he can be the villain. But
I've never had Bojangles. I can't count.
Oh my God!
Oh, you're not taking Bojangles.
I cannot believe that.
No, I'm not going to take Bojangles. I'm going to let it pass through and just see if Jack wants to think about it.
No, I can't. Then it'll come back. I can't take it.
I thought of another southern restaurant too in North Carolina. Like I thought of a perfect one, and I didn't pick. I never thought of Bojangles for some reason.
I think I might let it fall to the 4th round just because of slot value. Maybe cost a little less. Than Bojangles.
He's gonna take it next round. Are you gonna? I don't know.
No, I'm
he gets to pick before me though.
Yeah, because it's snakes or other way.
So I think right here I'm just gonna take In-N-Out. I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
Kenny.
Sorry.
Take
Whataburger and In-N-Out. Pick a side,
Yeah.
dog.
I'm taking In-N-Out.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, if
I
you don't
think
want me
it's
to, I'll take
overrated, man.
Bojangles here. Who wants it?
You're going to take it in the fourth, all
Bojangles?
right?
Yeah. What do you take? Which one are you
Okay.
taking? In-N-Out?
No, I'll be the villain. I'm taking Bojangles.
All right.
It was
All right,
never going to make
Bojangles
it
is
back
gone.
to me.
He was going
And
to
it
take an
didn't
hour
deserve
later.
to since I forgot it for 3 rounds.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
What's really good about it? I've never had it. It's a breakfast place, right?
What's really good about it? How much time do we have?
Okay.
It has the greatest spicy chicken biscuit that has ever been created ever. It has impeccable chicken. It has Cajun fries. Biscuits are always
that
the
sounds
perfect.
fantastic.
Chicken
Oh
fries does sound
God,
good.
I'm so mad I forgot about Bojangles. But
Sorry, Peyton.
that's just what I'm gonna have to live with.
You can take Cookout.
I'm probably going to.
I knew when you said you forgot the one. I was like, oh, Cookout. Okay, so I have my last two. So, In-N-Out's gone.
No, you can take In-N-Out. I took Bojangles.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, I might do it. Does Noodles and Coke count as fast food?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
I'd
say it
consider
does.
Because
Mhm.
that's
You order at the counter.
that's my kids meal that I don't think should be classified as a kids meal. The mac and cheese at Noodles is so good. I don't care what anyone says. It's good. It's just cheesy goodness. So I'm thinking about that one. I could do In-N-Out. I guess I'll think about it first because I'm going to take Taco Bell.
Okay.
For this
Okay.
one.
Nope.
Not
That
bad.
was gonna be my hot take that I was telling you guys about. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I thought it was. My first
I'm not a
pick.
Taco Bell fan.
I have
I'm
to
not a
be.
fan.
I have to be in the right, probably state of mind to eat Taco Bell.
Intoxicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is not
just
able
call it-
to
let's just
Taco
call it for what it
Bell.
is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just more food, but it is good. It hits at the right time. They got a lot of good options.
I don't hate it. I would get it in a pinch, man. But if there's other options on the board, I'll probably guess like I'm surprised that it lasted this long. I thought it was gonna be a first round pick though, because I know it has like a cult following for sure.
Yeah, I will pass on Noodles. I will take In-N-Out. I think just because I didn't get Whataburger, In-N-Out is good. I think I've only had it like a couple of times because it is a southern thing, but I do like it. I like Whataburger better, but I do like
It's not even a southern thing. It's a
Or a
West Coast thing. Yeah.
I had it in Texas, I guess was the.
I've had it like I've had it out like twice, and I thought it was okay each time. I didn't think it was great.
It was all right. I like Whataburger better if I'm because I know that's the big debate, right? Is those two.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Whataburger, but I'll take In-N-Out. I like that. I like rounding out my draft. All right, Kenny.
Animal style, like the sauce you can put on the fries and the burger is really good. There's also like everyone's like, oh, there's a secret menu. I don't want to feel like that guy, like going up there. Hey, I don't see it up on the board, but can you make me this? Yeah, yeah. Just tell me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. My next one, it's kind of tough now. I did think, I don't know if this one can count, but would Wingstop fall in this category or no?
Ooh.
Can you eat at a Wingstop?
Are they still?
I
running?
think it could count. Yeah.
You can count that. I do like Wingstop a lot. That would be a good pick. But
I'm actually not going to take it, but like I was just wondering. I was just like, because I was thinking
I'm
about
glad
it.
we used our
it's too
time
much-
on that.
Too much on the fence about it. So I actually planned this one perfectly because I knew it would slip through Jack because Jack can't physically eat at this restaurant because of something they
Allergies.
put in their food. So I'm taking Panda Express.
Yeah, that's
Love Panda
they put
Express.
that into the student center at Mizzou. Absolute power move for them. I mean, that's a money making machine.
I like.
I've had it maybe once before.
I like.
It's
I liked
good.
it. I liked it because it made the lines in all the other places shorter.
Yeah,
So I can get
it's a
my
very
food
mall
faster.
food court thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's true.
there always seems to be a better mall food court option though whenever I go. So I've just never really gotten it before.
It looked better because there was just not a lot of options at the student center, but it's pretty good, I would think.
Yeah. Good pick. All right, Peyton,
All
your
right,
last one.
Peyton.
No
Okay, my
Bojangles.
last pick. I'm staying in the South. I feel so bad for forgetting about Bojangles. And let me put a disclaimer that the South has the best food options on planet Earth. If we were doing a sit-in restaurant, I would take O'Charlie's first overall, and I guarantee two of you, Max and Jack, have no idea what that even is, and Kenny only knows because I talked his ear off about it. But I'm going to take Cookout. For one, Cookout is the least healthy restaurant on planet Earth, but you can get like 40 items on the menu. You can get like 3 orders of hush puppies, 20 hot dogs, 50 nuggets, like just that whole sketch that from the guy.
Yeah, I was going to say something. 55 burgers, 55 fries.
Yeah, that. And that would run you all like $5. I mean, Cookout is such a
unbelievably cheap. Yeah,
just such a bang for your buck, and it's pretty good food. Can't eat that a lot because you'll die quickly. But Cookout is great, and I have to acknowledge the southern food in some way.
I love Cookout because it's like every other, obviously inflation has affected every fast food place, but like Cookout still has a prices from like the 1960s where you can buy like a cheeseburger and fries for like 5 cents. It's like that's still what they got at their prices right now. So yeah, bang for your buck. I've had it like 2 times now, and we've gotten like feasts for like $20. So yeah, it is pretty unbelievable the prices there.
I think I was in like Tennessee once, and I didn't have time to try it, and I do want to because Peyton always talks about how good it is.
It's amazing.
It's pretty bad that when we were going to all those games in the SEC, we'd stop at the same one every time. It was just like, it's right there, guys. Yeah, let's do it. It's like 11 o'clock at night, just like it's the only thing that's open. Like you just see the big like Cookout sign, but like half of it's turned off because it's just a rundown restaurant.
Yeah.
You were almost
guys, get out of the car.
You were almost there. You were almost there, meatball guys.
I was almost their meatball guy. Kept coming back to like, hey, we've seen you guys before. We don't get much. We don't get any customers that come and sit down.
If you guys went there, I put up history in that Syracuse play, man.
Retires jersey.
They have a plaque up there for me. Again, the numbers I put up there were stupid in that Subway place.
You were like the James Harden.
Yeah.
The James Harden, like James Harden with strip clubs. You are Max Chadwick with Subway.
Meatball guy.
Meatball guy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Max is more secure in his job than James Harden.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Oh my God, that guy. Yeah, it's insane what's going on with that right now. But
yeah, good pick, Peyton.
Last one.
All right, Max, you're finishing the draft. Pick 16.
Wait, so Bojangles was not picked at all? Let me get that right.
No,
he took Bojangles.
Oh.
I would have sprinted to the podium with Bojangles.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just not picking it because you just forgot about it or not. Okay.
Yeah, no.
This is the one that would have been my 1-1 if you asked me what is your actual favorite place. Like if this is an option with every other option that we've mentioned already, I would definitely pick this one. But it is a regional thing. So I knew I need to get the heavy hitters out of the way first before I can get this one.
Good drafting.
I think I've mentioned before, Smash Burger is the place I love, dude. The burgers are unbelievably good. The fries are really good too. They got smash fries. They put a little, I think basil, rosemary, and like garlic on the fry. It's unreal. Yeah, man, the burgers are so good. And that's my number one place. I used to get it all the time in Jersey because there's one about 20 minutes from me. The closest one in Cincinnati is actually in the airport, and there's not another one for a long while. So I love flying because that means I get to get Smash Burger. There's been a few times where actually the place was closed, and it was just like I was like devastated by
just canceled the flight. Just went home.
But yeah, I love it so much. There's been times where I've contemplated like buying a plane ticket, get through TSA, get Smash Burger, and then come back out and drive away. So I don't have the money yet to quite do that. But there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I could really use Smash Burger right now. So that to me, by far my favorite place. I knew for a fact it would be there in the 4th round. So pretty smart strategy on my end being able to take it here. But yeah, man, I think Smash Burger for me is my favorite place. And if you guys haven't had it yet, I'm sure you have it because it's very regional. But they are expanding a little bit too. But I'd highly recommend it if you haven't had it yet.
I love a good burger.
The weird thing about Smash Burger in Houston is we had like 2 or 3 everywhere. Like you would see one in like a strip mall or strip center. They've closed. I mean, they're dying in Houston. I don't know why. I guess the competition of Whataburger.
That better not be a national thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's national, but they're definitely dying in Houston.
Devastated if that happened nationally. I don't know if I want to live in a world without a Smash Burger, honestly.
It's another good place to get a shake. I mean, they're pretty expensive there, but I like the shakes at.
Oh, you've had it before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
good. Okay.
I mean,
all right. So I love it.
Yeah, it's
I think
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've heard
I
of
remember-
it. I have never been.
I've also heard of it. I've never been. Yeah, I would love to try it though. I love a good burger. So that sounds-
Did you
Yeah, if you
guys
guys are ever in
ever
the air-
like?
If you guys were ever in Cincinnati, we'll hit up the airport. We'll each buy a
There we go.
Yeah, we'll hit up the Smash Burger. And
Yeah,
ship
when
it out of there.
we'll all fly there and we land. You don't even need to get a ticket. Be like,
Oh,
I don't know.
dude, I will gladly pick you up if each of you.
Yeah,
bought me a burger.
pretend to be like a valet. You get in there for
I'll
free or
host.
something.
You guys can stay at my place for as long as you. I don't care, man. If you guys get me Smash Burger,
As long as we
you're
get
my
Smash Burger.
I mean, you're dead forever. But
That's got to be a kind of humbling move, though, if you bought a plane ticket just to go to the fast food
I
place.
did. That's again. Meatball guy was a look in the mirror moment when I thought about, and I didn't like. I jokingly thought about, it, but even like it popped in my head, and I was like, "You piece of shit!" Like this. Like you can't. I cannot be an option for you right now. Like you gotta just figure it out somewhere else, dude. Like you can't even. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I do. I fly a lot now because I try to come home as much as possible with my family and all that. So I do love going there to the Smash Burger and when it is open. But I'm excited. If I ever am down in the Missouri area, I'm gonna hit you guys up because I want to try a lot of those places you guys hit because I haven't tried a lot of them yet. So I'm excited about it.
I just remembered this story about Smash Burger. I don't know if it's because I'm such a compulsive liar, but I remember when I was like 8 years
This is a
old.
great start to this story.
I remember when I was 8 years old, I wanted to be so smart. Like I was like, Mom, like this burgers, the Smash Burger, they're so big. Like they're just rising up. The meat is awesome. In my head, I'm like, oh, it's called Smash Burger because I smash it down. And I felt so stupid. I mean, that was like the first time I was like, I probably should stop lying.
Yeah.
Like I was like, maybe I should stop lying. And then I still do it to this day.
No, yeah,
but
he
that was
didn't-
like
I'm a compulsive liar too.
He didn't stop lying.
You just want, you're one of us.
There's a thing called a white lie. Nothing, you can't get hurt by a white lie, and that's usually what it was. I would just lie about things and just kind of stick
I'm
with
the
it.
same way, dude. I don't lie about anything important, like anything big that would hurt me. I just lie about the stupid stuff. I'm like, why would I even like say that? Like,
I
my
do that with
Spanish teacher in
Caitlin
college
Black, yeah.
asked me. I remember my Spanish teacher in college asked me like how many brothers and sisters I had, and I was just like 10. I was like, and I had to keep it up. I had to keep it the stick for the whole semester, dude. I was like, I don't know why did I say that. And she's like, oh my god, like, she's like, how are? And it's funny because my aunt actually has 10 kids, so I just like for some reason I was like, oh, it'd be funny if I pretended I was part of that. But yeah, so I had to like keep it up, man, for a whole semester. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you doing this?
Did she ever ask you to name them?
Yeah, I just
Call
named my
them fake
cousins. It was just my cousins I gave out. I was like, oh yeah.
Timmy, Tommy, Tracy.
Stupid lies. Just like why, man? You know. But, yeah.
I just remembered another lie I used to carry around is that like when I was in like elementary school, the teacher would ask, "Oh, what'd Santa bring you this year?" I didn't want to talk to the teacher. I said he didn't come this year, and they were like, "What?" And I was, he didn't come.
No, he's not, yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna text your mom. I'm gonna call your mom after school today and ask her what happened." Like, all right. And then I was like, I didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's like his new bike's in the driveway. What are we talking about?
Next thing Kenny comes to school the next year, there's like a toy drive for him.
Yeah.
Everyone just give a little bit and help this poor kid out.
Chip in for Kenny.
Make sure he has Santa coming this year.
Oh my! I used to. I learned lie in like first grade. I remember this clear as day. I used to lie about having an older brother who was like NFL player, but also a rocket scientist.
Oh wow!
And like a bunch of things, and like I would just tell I was like, oh yeah, you know, like older brother John, like blah blah blah, like all that. So my teacher eventually called my mom. She's like, oh my, because my mom used to work in school, and she's like, oh my god, Shannon, I didn't know you had like Michael had a kid before you. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what are you? But yeah, just, again, stupid stuff, man. I'm just like a compulsive liar about. So yeah,
this wasn't lying, but I used to in middle school when I wanted to make friends, I used to take comedians' jokes and pawn them off as my own to like make people laugh. I just wouldn't tell people. I would memorize the bits and just say them.
You can make a pretty good career out of that, dude.
Yeah.
Who was? Oh my god, who was the really famous comedian who
I can't think of his name.
I
know
hated
exactly.
Him too. Black long hair, kind of looked like Keanu Reeves almost a little bit, right? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I can picture. I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
You just steal jokes.
Yeah. Oh my god, his whole act was stolen. Yeah, it was terrible. He was like maybe a top 3 most famous comedian in the world at one point.
Oh wow,
I'm blanking on his name.
I don't know who this is.
Marlon Wayans.
Sucks, though.
Carlos Mencia did it, and that's the one I'm thinking of. Carlos Mencia was a big deal, and he got busted for that.
I didn't realize that was a thing. I was just a kid.
Oh, dude, no, it's. Oh wait, here we go.
Stealing jokes was a thing.
Well, like not like going all the way to the top doing it.
Dane Cook.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
Dane
Him
Cook
too.
is who I was thinking of. Yeah, Carlos Mencia. I'm looking at this right now.
He stole all of his jokes.
Apparently Robin Williams too. Rest in peace. But apparently he did a lot too.
Oh. Good one.
Well, yeah, Dane Cook is what I saw. Dane Cook's the worst, by the way. And yeah, he got caught stealing a lot of jokes. He kind of got screwed after that. He kind of got canceled after that. But
there you go.
He was the guy I was thinking of. He's the worst.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. Anyone have any on their board that we missed? I was trying to think.
Burger King,
KFC. No,
Yeah,
I'm so
How do we
good
feel
with
about Burger King? That's
Bad.
my.
Oh no.
Bad.
Okay,
I got Burger King
I
coupons
don't
in my
mind it.
car.
I think it gets hated on too much, but I understand. I would not have taken it, but I understand.
Yeah.
I have the last time I had Burger King was probably 4 years ago, and I went to a Chiefs game at Arrowhead, and I was driving back. It was a night game, so I was driving back to Columbia. It's about 2 hours, and I was so hungry, and it was super late, so I stopped at a Burger King, and I just begged them for food. I was like, I rolled down the window, and the first thing they were like, our kitchen had a fire, so we don't have hardly any food. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I remember leaning out the window and I just went, do you guys have chicken nuggets? And they were like, oh yeah, we have plenty in the back. And I was like, oh, I have 20. I just sat in my car eating them. I felt terrible.
Oh my god, that actually Burger King I think is my best available, honestly. So if I had to
best available,
I might
UDFA.
Yeah,
UDFA.
My first UDFA I signed for sure.
There you go. Spider-Man burger. It
gets hated on a lot. And deservedly so for a lot of reasons, but I also think it's better than people give it credit for too.
Yeah.
So
you have the Grimace Shake too, Max, with McDonald's.
That's right, the Grimace Shake. Yeah,
dangerous.
Maybe
Killer
Five Guys. I'm not a huge fan of Five Guys, but
I'm not either.
That was gonna be picked.
Jack can't eat there.
Popeyes. That's kind of like our version of Raising Cane's, I think, in the East Coast a little bit.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC. I'm not a huge KFC guy, but yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't picked either. Sonic, Moe's,
Dairy Queen.
Yeah, Dairy Queen. Yeah.
Does Krispy Kreme count? Just donuts.
Krispy Kreme, yeah, I would say
fast
so.
donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts counts too, I think. I thought that one.
Yeah.
Or Starbucks too.
I didn't think about that, but
Baskin Robbins, fast food for ice cream.
Yeah. Starbucks was up there. I don't go to Starbucks ever though. I'm not really a coffee guy.
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I think we nailed it. Good draft.
Oh, White Castle. What about White Castle? How do you feel about that?
I've never.
I don't like White Castle.
I don't hate it as much as others do. I think it's
I haven't had it in years, so maybe I will like it when I try it again. But I remember when I was a kid, I just did not like it when I had it.
So. Yeah, no, most people hate it.
Never.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I would put it up there with kind of like Arby's. It has such a negative vibe about it from other people that you won't even try it. That's how
I've never met a person who's eaten at Arby's before, or maybe I meant two. It's like an eighth one.
It's an older crowd.
Yeah, eighth one of the world's people who've eaten at Arby's. I'm just I'm always amazed.
I thought about taking Arby's.
Interesting. Okay,
so
I met one person.
Almost for the fries. Almost for the fries alone. The fries are so good.
Yeah,
fries are good.
All right, so yeah, Max, you had Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Subway, and Smash Burger. Peyton, Wendy's, Raising Cane's, Freddy's, and Cookout. Kenny, Whataburger, Shake Shack, Bojangles, and Panda Express. And then I had Chipotle, Culver's, Taco Bell, and In-N-Out. I think we did a good job.
Nice,
dude.
Yeah,
I think I got my 4 that I eat the most. Honestly,
there you go.
So I'm very happy with my draft right now.
The McDonald's Subway back-to-back crippled my big board. That was terrible. That was terrible. He said McDonald's and then he was like, I'm going to take one that I think I'll get made fun of for. And I'm like, no, this is only going to go one other direction.
I'm furious. I forgot Bojangles.
Yeah.
Bad.
That was so
if I forgot Smash Burger, I would have I feel like I would have felt like that too. That's that's your Smash Burger.
Yeah,
I thought you were just trying to pull off some big move. I was like, why haven't you just taken it yet? It's no one's gonna take it.
Just totally forgot, and I don't know why. That's whenever someone asks me my favorite one, that's my answer every time.
It's gonna be a bad graphic for Peyton. Bad graphic. All right. Well, Max, thank you so much for joining us for this draft and, of course, all the stuff you talked about before with Mizzou. We will definitely have to have you back on. You're a recurring guest, so you have to come back on whenever we ask you to.
Oh, dude, absolutely. This is one of my favorite things to go on, dude. So, yeah, whenever you guys want, I love talking to you guys for sure, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. Maybe we'll fly to Cincinnati, get some airport smash burger.
Dude, please. And I can't wait to do our fourth version of the fast food snake draft, man. I still got some more in the tank right now. So
there we go. Max is not done. But everyone go check out Preferred Walk On. It's a great show. There's some good interviews in there. Braylon Allen's the best one. It's not biased. It just is. Best running back college football. Had to get that in there. But yeah, Max, thanks for coming. And for everyone else, enjoy your weekend. We'll have a packed show for you guys to get your weekend started. So everyone enjoy it. Have a fun and safe weekend. We will see everybody on Monday.